This is part E in your lab on chemical and physical changes. I'm going to be using a mortar and pestle. This is a mortar, this is a pestle. You'll see the action as to what it accomplishes. I have a large test tube filled with some water. Remember, the quantities are not important, but the observations are. So this is deionized water, and I've got a cork to put on it. I'm going to take some of the copper sulfate and put it in this mortar and pestle. Copper sulfate, beautiful blue chunks. And then I would take the pestle and just grind and grind and grind, and here's the result of some of that grinding. I've got one of these in my kitchen too. It's a common tool to use in the kitchen. Garlic, making guacamole. So here I have the same chemical that were originally in big blue chunks. Now the mortar and pestle has accomplished this. I'm going to take a scoop of this blue powder and put it into this test tube. I'll put this cap on. Notice how I always put my finger over the top of it, and I'll just shake it for a minute. I'm going to put a little bit more in. I want you to intensely see what's in here. Copper sulfate is another chemical that you can buy at the hardware store, at Agway. My husband, my handsome videographer here, tells me that you can use copper sulfate solutions in fish tanks when your fish might have an illness or a fungus. It kills a fungus in a fish tank called ick, if you've ever had that on your fish. They also use it as a root killer if you've chopped down a tree or a bush and it goes into the ground around those roots that you want to be killed. Now, I'm working on this, and if I kept working on it, you would see what happens. I can get all of that, to the blue chunks at the bottom, to not be visible if I just keep doing this for a while. So, observations made. Now let me take the cap off and add just a few drops of aqueous ammonia. NH3 is ammonia, and it is naturally a gas, but that gas is readily soluble in water. So this is ammonia gas in water, and phew, can you smell it? It smells like I'm washing windows. So what does this look like? Now look close at this. I want you to see the top layer, some transitional layer, and the same layer at the bottom. And now I'm going to put the stopper on and give it a shake. Finger over the top while I shake it. Can you see through this blue liquid anymore? Can you see through it? I added a little bit more ammonia. I will shake it. Can you see through this test tube? A transparency perhaps? That is the end of this reaction. But I will show you something pretty cool. If I add lots and lots of this ammonia, this is an AP understanding. If I add lots and lots, I can actually get it to change one more time. And here, I'm getting that material at the bottom to do something interesting at the top. Several processes that you see. This additional step is not necessary for you, but do you see how I have changed the test tube again by adding the same chemical in a greater quantity? Thank you. That was part E.